Hey guys, and welcome to Little Big Podcast. This is episode 183.
Alright guys, thanks for joining us this week. We actually are going to move ahead our Q&A special because we haven't done it in a long time.
Yep.
And I'm leaving tomorrow to go back to college. So we're actually going to do our Q&A today. You guys sent in loads of questions, so we'll be answering those in just a second. But before that, we have some really cool bits of news. First up, LBP Vita has a release date, September 19th in the UK, 20th in Japan of September, and September 25th in the United States.
Now, what I want to know is how come the US is so behind on our release date?
You know,
it's like
I'm not
a
really
whole
sure,
6
but
days.
we always get stuff last because we are the youngest country out of all of those.
Yeah, it's like the youngest sibling. It's
and forgive the noise here, but I just noticed that
money.
our little windscreen is not properly on the microphone. Now it is.
Okay, all good.
So, moving on, our next bit of news is Wired.com, which is a site that I go to pretty regularly just to read some nerdy news and stuff. Anyway, it surprised me. On their front page, they had a story about LBP karting, and that was kind of cool, so I read through it. Really well-written article. But at the end, it was very interesting to find that they wrote, look forward to this game's release on the last day of 2012.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because they've been so dodgy with the release dates. They're like, holiday season, soon, later this year. It always happens like that.
That's all just up in the air depending on development and how everything else goes.
Right.
So no blame on them, obviously, but we really haven't had any definitive release dates yet. So to see this in Wired, we're not really sure if this is more of just like a general statement, like look forward to it at the end of 2012, or if this is a real, like, okay, this is coming out December 31st, 2012. We don't really know, but that's just a bit of information that I saw that I figured we could pass along to you guys, just kind of throw into the mix of different ideas out there.
And also, those of you who always complain when they don't release a release date, it's so you don't get disappointed later. If they said, okay, this game is coming out on March 7th, 2013, and then it comes out and they're like, okay, we have more to do, and it's going to come out on April 31st, if they just told you spring, then you'd be like,
there
okay.
April 31st.
There isn't? There is no April 31st.
There. So anyway, that game would definitely not be coming out should they push it back to April 31st.
Yeah. Anyway, on to our next bit of news, which is a schedule change on Little Big Podcast, and we just want to get your opinions on this. We are thinking about changing the show to either a Monday or Tuesday show, basically because a lot of the news is hitting Monday, Tuesday, that earlier part of the week. So by the time we get to it and report on it for you guys on Friday, everybody's like, oh, old news, already heard of it. So would you guys be interested in us moving the show back to a Monday or Tuesday? Or would you just be fine with us staying on Friday? Let us know in the comment section down below.
Sounds good. I kind of like that. I know I've only been back for like a few weeks, but I kind of have noticed that trend in the news. And for me, it's kind of annoying because we're like, oh, well, do we cover this stuff? It's old, or do we try to rumor some stuff that's maybe going to happen next week? So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's what we're talking about. So speaking of that, I'm actually leaving to go back to college and work. Actually, my classes won't start for another month, but I'm going back to work tomorrow. And I actually have a job in video production, which is pretty sweet because I'm only a sophomore and I'm doing my dream job already. But besides that, I'm leaving. So it's just going to be Daniel again for a few weeks. But we have some cool stuff happening that will probably allow me to guest star a little bit more often on the show. So there's going to be more information on that as it comes. And related to that, there are going to be some probably blips in our schedule, in Daniel's schedule, the podcast's schedule, because there's just some inconsistencies that are going to happen with just different things that are going on that you're going to find about later.
Yeah.
But basically, the show for the next at least 2 weeks may have some chances of not being exactly spot on, but there will be something.
Yeah, there will be something, and I will do my best to make sure it's the best quality that we can put out at the time. So
sounds good.
Yeah, that's everything there. And speaking of Austin having a job in video production, Little Big Podcast is not our only publishing arm as far as videos go. We actually have a larger video entity called React Studios that we publish videos to every once in a while, probably maybe like once every month, 2 months, something like that. Whenever we have a good video, we'll post it on there. And over the past year, we've gotten probably some of our best shots ever. So we are going to be releasing a show reel on or about August 8th, and it should be pretty cool.
Very cool.
So
okay,
that's
that's actually pretty much everything. We've got Q&A now, so away from the news, onto the questions that you guys have sent in. And I don't think we credited names for this.
No.
So if you remember, if you asked this question, good for you, because your question made it on the show. If not, sorry we didn't mention your name. We love you all.
All right, on to the first question, which is, what do you guys think about the new create mode in karting? Don't think it's far from the usual LBP create plus harder?
I'd have to say that it's along pretty much the identical lines.
Yeah.
Like, the way they pulled everything off is pretty much perfect. I love, the track editor is really flawless. I like the terrain. I like everything else. One thing that people have been kind of complaining about, is making 2D objects like you would in LBP, and then, transporting that over into a 3D. It's kind of weird how all the depth works. So
yeah.
Some people are saying it'd be way nicer if you could just make something in an LBP. I can't even talk.
in an LBP style.
Right.
Yeah.
And that 2D, 3D kind of 3 planes, build something that you normally would and then put it in, just because you don't have to work with all the constraints of... And to me that makes sense, because you build something, you're almost like modeling something, and then you bring it into the environment.
Yeah.
Versus... Anyway, so I thought that was a really good idea. Maybe we'll see that implemented. I have no idea.
Other than that, amazing game, and it should be pretty much pick up and play, create, and share for all of you LBP people out there.
All right, next question is, do you play Minecraft? My answer is no.
My answer is occasionally. It is pretty fun. It's way, way past my level of
Patience?
Patience, yeah. I was trying to think of the right word there, but patience is a good one, because you have to like gather resources and stuff, and I am not exactly the most patient person in the world. So when I do play, I usually just go and troll and dig holes. So that's about my Minecrafting experience for you
Very
guys. Cool. Next question is, what would you do, with several O's, for a Klondike bar?
I would walk to the freezer, open the door, unwrap it, and stuff it in my face.
That's a good answer. Yeah. Very generic.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
I would... I don't know. I don't know that I'd do much for a Klondike bar.
Go to the store and buy one?
I'd go buy one, yeah. If I really wanted a Klondike bar.
They're really good, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't like jump out of a second-story window onto nothing. For
Now,
one.
Tasty Cakes, on the other hand, Tasty Cakes,
Those are
I
pretty
would,
good.
like, skydive.
But this time of year during the
For it.
summer, there's nothing like just a cool, creamy ice cream dessert.
That's true.
So, anyway, why is Sackboy's smile so heartwarming?
Well...
I have no idea, but I guess it's something related to the fact that the animators wanted to convey emotion through his little burlap lips.
His lips.
Burlap
Face.
facial opening. So, anyway, Sackboy's smile is heartwarming because it reminds us of human facial characteristics, and we relate to humans, and so there's something deep and something I'm not qualified to say for the reasoning behind all that.
Because you're not a psychologist?
But I'm sure there's a reason why, but I don't know it.
Because his facial features are exaggerated to the point that it's adorable.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, how much do you have to edit the episodes, considering I see you two laugh way too much not to edit things? Well, it depends, honestly. Like, there are some weeks where we're just, like, dead tired, and we come and we film an episode, and we just get it out of the way, and you can probably tell what episodes those are.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but I'm sure you
Probably you can.
Then
yeah.
there are some weeks where we're, like, filming at, like, 11 o'clock at night, and we're, like, both, like, totally, like, just...
Zoned.
It's that time of the night when, like, almost anything is funny. So, like, something can fall over in another room just randomly, or the phone rings, or, goodness knows what else, and then, like, anything like that just sets off, like, laughter.
Yeah.
And I don't get it, but it hasn't happened a lot.
It has
Most of our
happened.
edits happen when we say something either really stupid that doesn't make sense, or...
Something that later we're like...
Wait a second, that does not sound
Good.
right.
Yeah.
So, anyway... Most of our edits that you see will be flash cuts because, like, halfway through realizing that we said something, we end up laughing, and then we don't have enough time to cut back in after we're done laughing. So, obviously, we just come back in laughing for no reason.
Yeah.
So that's how that all happens.
Yep. What is your Sackboy's favorite food?
You know, I'm not really sure.
I haven't seen my sack boy eat a banana.
There you go.
An Olympic banana.
We'll just give him that. That sounds good. All right, what do you see as being the future of the video game industry? Honestly, yes.
Sadly, this is the future of the video games industry.
Mobile gaming, I think, is going to take off because the more people are on the go, and I know for me as a college student, and having a job and between classes and all that, like I don't have time, and I know it is different for other people, but I don't have time to sit down and play video games for very long at all. Like the most time I get is when I'm sitting there like before class starts. I've already done everything that I need to do, and I'm just like, okay, I need to kill some time, you know, that type of thing. I'm not going to have time to sit down in front of a console. As much as I love that whole history of things, I don't have that much time to sit down in front of a console, pick up a game, and play it as much as I love to do that. So I really feel like the more games shift over to devices that, and I love dedicated handhelds. Like the Vita is a great system.
Yeah, it's fantastic,
but I feel like
really.
A phone is something, and regardless of the brand, I know I have an iPhone. I'm a major Apple fanboy, but like any phone that you have is something that you're going to have on you at all times. Like the camera, any camera that you have on you is the best one that you can have.
Right.
So I guess for me, like any gaming experience that you can have is the one that you're going to have on you at all times, because things, or at least for me, my life is slowly moving away from just being able to chill out and play video games and stuff like that. Like if I'm going to get any gaming in, it's going to be on my phone. So whether those gaming experiences get deeper or simpler or however it ends up happening, I really feel like the future of games is going to be with you and your whatever you're carrying around with you.
Though that doesn't mean that there's not going to be these ridiculous advances in graphics and even virtual reality kind of stuff coming in the future. Next question is, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
You know, I've asked Siri before. Let's ask Siri.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Don't you have anything better to do?
All right, so next question. What is the best two-player level that you've played in Little Big Planet 2? If you're going down the channel of most comical, it would definitely be that dumb one that came out, like, I guess, was it during...
No, that is not dumb. That is the best
beta
level ever.
I mean, and the one where it's just like you got the two guys...
Super Street Fighter.
And you control the arms and the feet, and you're just flying. I mean, yeah, that one was pretty good. That was a level that I can sit down and play and, like, laugh at because it's so, like... everything about it's just really ridiculous.
Yep.
So I couldn't say that definitively, and honestly, I can't... I know there are great levels out there, but right now none of them are coming to my head except for that one. So there's your answer. It was Turbo Street Fighter or whatever it was that we played all the time.
Fantastic level.
Yeah.
All right, next. Oh, wait. Moonlander.
Moonlander
was amazing. Okay, anyway, next question is, what do you value more, ingenuity or execution? A good idea or a solid performance?
I'd have to say execution, because a good idea is simply that until it actually comes to fruition. So I can have this great idea for this super awesome thing, but if it never happens, then that didn't do anybody any good. So I'd have to say execution is the most important thing.
Yeah, I would say a solid performance is always going to top a good idea. Because like Austin said, an idea is just an idea until someone puts it in motion. But a well-executed good idea is always the best thing ever to happen, ever. Like sliced bread. I mean, how bad would it be if we still had to slice our own bread?
It would be pretty bad.
It'd be really bad.
I've never had to slice bread before.
Never?
Well, no, I mean, like... Well, actually, I take that back. I think I have. Anyway, that's completely unrelated.
Yeah.
Moving on. What upcoming video game releases are you guys looking forward to?
Ooh,
well, obviously, LBP Vita, LBP karting.
You know, they just announced Grid 2 this morning, or teased it this morning, and I was am a huge Race Driver Grid fan. That's a great game. Anything Codemasters with a car is really good. So I'm looking forward to Grid 2. That game Watch Dogs looked kind of crazy. I can't think of anything else right now. Last of Us.
Right now, airplane going up, and then your son.
Yep. I can't think of anything else. Oh, Need for Speed Most Wanted. Oh my goodness. It's like, okay, for those of you who don't know, Little Big Podcast started because of Crash TV, the podcast of Burnout Paradise. And when we saw Little Big Planet didn't have a podcast yet, we were like, hey, let's make a podcast about Little Big Planet. And
so we are
jumped on board.
basically the unofficial Crash TV of Little Big Planet.
Yeah, and like Crash TV was my favorite show ever to watch. It was just fantastic. The developers were great, and we just loved that show. So when we started doing this, that was our basically role model for the show that we did. So for them to be making another game that's supposedly the spiritual successor to Burnout Paradise, I'm stoked. I'm really excited for that.
Definitely.
So can't wait to play that game.
Okay, next up, is there any tool/level/item/anything that did not make it into the game and you wish it did? So I'm not really sure if you're talking about karting or
any of them.
Any of the games. I'd have to say the ice.
Ice, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
The ice hazard was definitely a cool thing that would have been neat.
Cool thing that would have been neat.
Yeah. I'd also like to see, and I might sound like a complete total idiot because they may have developed this since I've been gone, but I'd love to see selective water.
No,
that's not
in. But that would be cool. I'd love to see
selective water. That'd be cool.
And image import. Like, I know you can do sticker layer and stuff, but as a graphic designer myself, I would love to be able to make this amazing logo or something for a level and then just import it rather than creating it in the game. But
that ruins the spirit of play, create, share.
No, because I created that, so
within the ecosystem.
Yeah, ecosystem.
So anyway, blah, blah. I'm sure there's many other things. I just thought of it. Grav boots from Ratchet and Clank.
But they did come.
They did kind of do that with the gel from the Muppets pack, so I'm happy.
Yeah, that was cool. If you could skydive with a talking animal, would it be a turtle or an alpaca?
Wow. Okay. Turtle or alpaca?
Well,
I'm having a problem. Alpaca is kind of like a llama, right?
Yeah.
That kind of
really fuzzy.
Yeah. I go with an alpaca.
Well,
because if the chute doesn't open, you can always land on that.
Yeah. What I was thinking was if I got attached to this said animal while skydiving, and it didn't have a parachute, I would pick a turtle so that I could catch the turtle and make sure it didn't die. But an alpaca, I don't know that I could catch an alpaca unless it was a baby alpaca. That would be so cute.
Anyway, that was a very, very interesting question, and I'm glad you sent that in, whoever that was. Okay, next up, do you guys like LBP Vita?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had about 15 minutes with it at E3. I was completely gone for the whole beta, so I didn't get to play any of that. But at E3, it was pretty cool. Got to play with the cross control, I think it is.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. And you guys probably all saw that. It was in our E3 episode. If you missed it, go back and watch it because that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Austin did a great job with the coverage.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting to see how, like, what I was doing on the Vita controlled what, someone else was doing on PS3, and all of it was just really mind-boggling. So
yeah.
And that's not even technically part of LBP Vita. So,
but LBP Vita, I think, is going to be an app store for Vita, basically. People making apps already, app-style games. I think that's going to be the future of LBP Vita.
All right, our next question is, what happened to the old set that you guys used to have in the loft? What are you doing with that now? Basically, the reason we moved down to this location, for those of you who have been with us way forever ago, where we used to have the blue walls and the pod and all the cool stuff in the background and the art, and that was a cool set.
That was a cool set.
Anyway, what happened to that? Well, basically, our air conditioning unit upstairs, because it's not tied into the rest of the house, died. And we haven't been able to fix it because it's just like it's really messed up. So we just moved down here. We like it. It's a lot more convenient to have everything kind of down here.
Hopefully we can get a room set up that's just a studio.
We're actually looking at having some new kind of setups and figuring out what else is going to go on here within the next, I guess, month.
Yeah,
so
Impulse
be looking for
should
that.
Be pretty awesome too, and we need a set to shoot that in. So working on all the logistics of that. So yeah, should be really cool.
All right, well,
I think that's it for questions.
I think that's it for this week. Do we have anything else?
We should have a question for them. The question of the week.
Answer this in the comments.
Answer in the comments. What is your favorite childhood memory? I don't know.
Sure. What is your favorite childhood memory? Because you guys are all great people, and I'm sure you have great life stories and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
favorite childhood memory.
Don't forget, comment in the comment section if you want us to look at changing our schedule to an early in the week instead of later in the week, so we can
Say
catch
goodbye
all the
to
news.
Austin in the comments.
Say bye to me in the comments because I'll be seeing you guys later. But I'll be back. No worries.
I'll be back.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments if you want us to look at changing our schedule. Also, let us know in the comments, like we said, our question to you guys, what is your best childhood memory? And have a great week. Thanks
Or your
for joining
favorite
us.
animal.
We honestly appreciate you guys watching the show. It's been a blast. We're approaching 4 years of Little Big Podcast in November.
Wow.
So it's been
That's
pretty
insane.
crazy, but we've been going since 2008.
Yeah, and with Little Big Podcast and React Studios, we actually had a show before Little Big Podcast for a very short time. But we are going to be hitting 4 years in exactly 6 days from the release of this episode. So 4 years of being on the internet, and I hate looking back at any of
Don't
my
go
old
back.
content.
For those
It's
of you
so
who
bad.
know where all that stuff is, don't
Don't
do it.
even,
Don't even
no.
think about it. And don't post a link or we'll do something.
We'll remove it. We will remove it.
No, just kidding. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I'm Austin.
I'm Daniel.
And we will see you guys, or he'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Goodbye.
Hello.